because I know it's like really divisive. So
Crimson Desert is a truly
leave stream
awe-inspiring
on,
game
go
with a
sleep.
lot of features that deserve a lot of praise.
I'm
The
not
sprawling open
leaving
world
you
is one of the
guys
most
here.
impressive
Ain't no
ever
way.
made for a game. The visuals can be legitimately awe-inspiring at times, and the overall presentation is quite polished. There's a lot to like here, but unfortunately there's a lot to dislike as well. Despite being presented as a freewheeling AAA action game, Crimson Desert actually has a lot more in common with MMOs than you might first assume.
Get the
You know,
VTuber
World of
blanket
Warcraft
thing.
started off pretty straightforward.
I don't want to do a sleeping stream. I don't know if I'm that, like, I really don't want to be like a sleep streamer. Fanboy, but still our boy, no way. You mean Donut Operator tried it, Wasabi, or someone else?
Housing system and pet battles and war fronts and a gem system with all this other extra stuff. Crimson Desert feels like a late stage MMO with a lot of vestigial mechanics that are introduced, barely interacted with, and then you move on to the next random feature. It makes the game feel massive, but in the end,
I mean, I feel like they should have done their research. This game was supposed to be an MMO. So
a lot of it is actually pretty shallow. It's a game with a lot of problems, but at GameRanks, we can't bring ourselves to
convinced
hate
him
it.
to buy
It's
it,
just
you
such a
didn't like
unique
it.
beast of a game with a
Yeah, it's huge. And, you know, the fact that it was supposed to be an MMO, it speaks volumes. Like, it's definitely MMO vibes for this. Standing static. I don't want you guys to watch me standing static. That's not content.
Qualities, but there's no denying that some
No.
of the choices the developers have made here are head-scratching to say the least. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on GameRanks,
Hi,
10
Big.
things
Welcome
players
in.
hate
I'm doing
in
great.
Crimson
How are
Desert.
you?
Starting off at number 10, the bizarrely
Welcome to the
bad
stream.
tutorial and the 8+ hours it takes for the game to get good.
Yeah. I mean, that's just fucking insane. I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm all used to, like, MMOs taking that long to get good. But it's just, I can't, oh God, like, it feels like it was supposed to be an MMO, and it sucks. Because, like, why change it? It just feels like a rug pull or something. I would have loved it if it was an MMO. It feels too empty as a single player game. But maybe a co-op game, it'll be fun. Find a PNG of a chair?
We've got to start here because this is going to be the biggest stumbling block for new players. I know a lot of people complain that the first chapter in Red Dead 2 is kind of long and pretty slow, but that game has
Welcome
nothing
to the
on
cult,
how
Big.
incredibly slow, inexplicable, and frankly dull the opening hours of this game are. The developers at Pearl Abyss are trying desperately to respond to players' criticisms, which is its own can of worms, but some of the recent changes they've made feel a little overcorrecting. Like, have some confidence in your own game design, guys. But the nature of the tutorial segment in Crimson Desert cannot be fixed without a complete overhaul. Once you get past the intro, which introduces the primary driving force of the big part of the narrative, which is reuniting the scattered Greymanes, the first few hours have our main guy Cliff just sort of puttering around town.
Pie kickers just sounds like a slur, dude. I can't describe it. It just sounds like, it sounds so off to me.
Without a lot of direction or purpose. Objectives do not flow naturally from one thing to another. Your first mission sends you to the tavern to arm wrestle for some reason.
Come on, put him back into it. Oh, shit. Just got lucky.
Then you follow that up by giving a coin to a beggar who gives you a key. It's a wooden key at first, and then it's not. You climb down into the sewers, and I guess you rescue a maiden, maybe?
Please, you have to help me.
It's our
quickly.
slur, then. That's fucking insane.
Calm yourself. I'm a friend. I'm here to help.
I can't really tell if she's real, but again, there's not for any
Stop
reason.
saying it! I'm not gonna say it! I'm worried that someone thinks I'm gonna say the other word.
That any of this happens. The only reason you're doing any of this stuff is because the quest tells you it's the next thing you have to do in the sequence. the objective appears, and thus you do it.
God.
There's no inner monologue from Cliff to even at least try to connect these random events. Like, oh, I don't know, maybe there's some villagers over that way. Oh, the smoke that's billowing out of that house. I should go over there. Nothing.
What's the
Just
other
keeps
word?
going
I'm
like
not
that.
saying
It's
it.
a completely
No,
arbitrary
stop
objective after another, and it goes on for hours.
Also,
Eventually,
you're right,
the game
Ralph.
finally introduces the camp, which gives you a clear goal that actually makes some kind of logical sense. The
Still
whole
better
setup
than
for the game is to
Twitchers.
reunite your clan, the
Twitchers
Grey
at
Names,
least
and now you're
sounds different.
finally doing that. Still not exactly exciting though.
You're Europe-ish? Europe-ish? I don't.
Tutorials explaining how various aspects of the camp work. There are other missions where you need to rescue lost Greymanes, but these almost always end with you simply meeting them
Like
somewhere.
I
and
just
they
feel like
immediately join you.
it's also holy shit. Thank you, Count, for the raid. Sorry, I missed that. Holy fuck! Welcome in, guys. Right now we're streaming. We're just yapping for a bit, but holy fuck! I really appreciate that. Welcome. And right now we're just watching tiny bit of Crimson Desert, since I still don't know how I feel about this game. But yeah, if anyone needs to know, I'm Astray and I'm a VTuber, and I just stream a lot of co-op and single player games, and sometimes I yap. Hello, fanboy. Get him, chat! Or.
There's no combat, you don't really do anything, you just go to a place, show you a cutscene, that's that. The biggest issue here is that it goes on for 8 hours before it even approaches being entertaining. Crimson Desert does eventually start getting fun, but it takes so long to get there, I cannot blame anyone for giving up before even getting close to that point. It's all so directionless and dull for hours and hours.
I agree.
Eventually you start getting interesting abilities and start exploring more interesting locations, but there is a game worth of content that sucks. Until that point comes, it's just endless busy work. This game does not make a good first impression, and while it does eventually get better, asking someone to stick with a game for 8 hours or more just to get to the good stuff is a big ask, considering we live in a world where great games come out constantly that you can get through literally a satisfying story or whatever in the same amount of time.
Real.
I don't know. I'm pissed off about this. This sucks. What else sucks?
I mean,
is
I agree, but like, I mean, this game was supposed to be it was supposed to be an MMO. So like, I don't know. It feels weird that they made it into a single player game. Like, I really just hope they add co-op to this, because co-op would actually save this game for me. Like, I would actually want to play it. So, we'll see.
actually which direction they've gone with the YouTube homepage. It's very shorts oriented, and as such, there are people that are not getting our videos when we upload them because there's not enough room.
Oh
on the
yeah,
damn
I mean,
homepage.
they already talked about co-op potentially. We'll see. I'll try it once it comes to Game Pass. I'm not spending my money on it. Yeah, I regret spending my money on it. I should have waited for a sale and then bought it.
As such, we're gonna say probably the best way to see all of our videos if you're subscribed is to enable notifications. It's doing us
Need
a
a
big solid
faster
by
deadline.
enabling them, and we hope it helps you see.
I mean, it's been in development for like 5 to 7 years now. So that's about the amount of time it takes to make an MMO. So maybe.
Some stuff you want to see. Thanks a ton for enabling notifications. Let's get back to the video.
And number 9 is the limited inventory. The lack of any
I mean,
kind
guys, I did get a sale on it though. I legit got a fuck. Hold on. Let me just delete all the other redeems real fast.
of storage at launch in Crimson Desert is frankly mind-boggling. They did just now release a patch that added a personal stash to your camp, but before that, there was no way to store your excess
I'm not
inventory
saying that.
in this game
Fuck off.
at all. This entire game is about collecting tons and tons of worthless junk, and they didn't give you anywhere to put it. I'm fortunate I didn't get to play the pre-release build because apparently
Okay,
the
real fast.
situation
Hold
was
on, guys.
even way worse.
Let me show you. So basically, I technically did get it on sale. Because I do use this site where I can get like $10 off any new game, essentially. Hold on. So yeah, basically, I use this site and I bought it for like 59 compared to like 70. And I still feel kind of ripped off. Maybe I'm overthinking it, who knows. But yeah. Double Dungeon. What the fuck is Double Dungeon? I've never heard of that.
Worse at that point. And what they ended up doing was doubling the amount of
Wait, if they worked on the game with the premise of being an MMO, wouldn't be surprised there was some code either. Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely has the MMO bones, hence why it's all the boring MMO quests in the beginning of the game, and then it just gets better and better. So
inventory space available to players.
Grifting
Pre-patch,
annoying.
the limited space in the inventory was a constant problem. It's an issue that the developers obviously are aware of. They have been making changes heavily post-launch. But I have to ask, why was this not in the game day one? Why did they need feedback to tell them to add some kind of way to organize the absolute torrent of crap that you are more or less required to collect for the most part? Like, Pearl Abyss knew what they were making here, right? The game floods you with random crap, and most recipes require multiple bits and bobs from all over the place, so they knew your inventory was going to be absolutely stuffed with items. I guess that their original plan was to make holding on to stuff a huge pain in the ass. I don't really know what other reason you would make it so that you can't stash stuff. I've played so many games like this, and they all either have a stash.
I don't know.
let you
It's
carry-
so.
And number 8 is the camera. In the grand scheme of things, the camera isn't
I
that
will say the camera feels weird. It's one of the weirdest games I've ever like controlled it with. I got lucky and got Space Marine 2. Oh shit, nice pork. Yeah, I should go play that game some more. It's fun.
big of an issue. In fact, I don't know if you guys listen to the Falcon show, but we're a couple weeks behind on stuff. Gets recorded way great. But for other people at Game Ranks, it's not so much a constant minor annoyance, it's a little more of a turnoff. To the game's credit, there are settings you can change that make the camera feel better, but there's always going to be some friction because the nature of the game is as it is. They want to give you full control, and that means a lot of the time you're fighting enemies with the camera pointed the wrong way. Sometimes it gets stuck in the environment or swings around wildly for no apparent reason. There's situations where the camera focuses on the wrong enemy, it's too close up, it's too zoomed out. It just never quite sits where you want it to, especially with bosses who like to teleport around all the time. Trying to keep track of them using the camera can be very annoying. One of the pet peeves of the guys that keeps getting discussed is that the camera is often just pointing directly at the ground. I didn't really have as much of trouble with this, but believe me, I haven't played it as long as these other guys have, so I'm taking their word, Eric in particular. It'll let you see your enemy, but it's super ugly. I have seen it. It's not dynamic, doesn't give you a good sense of the battlefield. Like with Souls games, you have this nice cinematic behind the shoulder camera. It stays locked down when you're fighting and generally gives you a nice view of the surroundings, but this game, which has many very interesting looking areas, half the time you're staring at the ground while mindlessly hacking away at enemies. It's distracting and it looks bad. It's not broken, and again, like it's gonna bother some people more than it bothers others, and it can be adjusted, but it could have and probably should have worked better.
Yeah, I mean, you can lock on. You can really lock on in this game. Like, it kind of fixes the camera, like 1v1, but when it's like a whole group of enemies surrounding you, it just feels terrible. I can't describe it. It's odd. Oh my god.
And number 7 is the boring story and the many, many boring side quests. Sure, the tutorial is dull and inexplicable, but once the
Carolina
actual
Nexus, I do have that game. I want to save that game. I do want to save that game for like maybe next month we can play Scarlet Nexus, because I got Scarlet Nexus. Literally, the MC is me. Like it's so good. Like, hold on, let me show you guys the MC of Scarlet Nexus, because it's literally just me. Hold on. Like, hold on. Like, he's literally just me. I have brown hair and everything. Actually, just me, dude. It's crazy. But yeah, this is why I just want to wait on it. So, Paradise, I do want to play that game, actually. That is on my list. I will eventually. Seen under Femboy. What do you mean? You should add a mom for cat ears. Anyways.
Well, scare quotes story starts, it doesn't get a lot better. You do get direction, which is definitely better than nothing. There's at least a reason why things are happening, and it's no longer just a totally random collection of unrelated events happening in some sequential order. But yeah, what I've described is the bare minimum, and once it gets past the 8 or 9 hour mark, that's what you get.
No
This is
feminine men
another
in
one
that
of
game. Okay, guys, I really just want to start the Days Gone. So like, give me 15 minutes, and then don't, like, you know, my video is gonna lag. That's on me. That's not your internet. It's just I'm fucking up. Voice clip. I like my Kingdom Hearts song. What do you mean you're my Kingdom Hearts shit? Finish the react. All right, fine.
Falcon pet peeves about the game. The story just
It is.
doesn't
I mean,
give
I
you
love it.
anything to care
Days
about.
Gone is
Cliff
my favorite game of all time, and I never even finished it.
a block of wood. Your gray mane companions are generic stereotypes who
Yep.
talk a lot, but they don't really feel like they have personalities. Dialogue is universally really flat.
Yeah,
Even
feels
though the
like
delivery
MMO
is
story.
good, it's, I mean, acting and scripting are both things that have to be good for it to work generally.
There's a camp where we've been gathering.
Without us? That's not a party unless we're there. Just a bunch of dull bastards, huh?
And, I mean, you do start doing more interesting things, but the cutscenes stay long, they stay dull, and for some bizarre reason, you cannot skip them. You can fast forward through cutscenes, but they cannot be skipped. Why? These side
That
quests
is
aren't-
something I want to do in the future, Pi. Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3 is my... Kingdom Hearts 2 specifically, Final Mix, is my favorite game of all time. And when I do Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm gonna be doing it modded, because KH3 modded is so fucking cool. It's rad as shit. Also, I am gonna be doing crit mode, because I've never done crit modes ever. So yeah, we'll suffer through that, I guess, as well.
are not a lot better. It's sad that these extremely dull investigation quests are some of the best in the game because they're very basic. You go and talk to a bunch of people type things. I will say at least they encourage you to use your brain a bit, yay. But most of the side quests in the game barely need any neurons firing to get
Ain't
through
no way,
them.
look.
They're all just gathering stuff, clear out enemy camps, or do a mini game. Really nothing of substance. And this is one of those complaints I know some people are ready to dismiss. They say the story doesn't really matter, and they're right, it absolutely does not
Yeah, I
matter.
love it.
There
I
is a
love the
lot more
game.
going on in the game
Every
than the
single game I
story.
played. Like my only regret, I mean, I still have the game somewhere, but I really want to finish Kingdom Hearts 3 365, whatever that game is, 356 over 2 days in multiplayer, because that's the only Kingdom Hearts game that has multiplayer. So I really want to do that shit.
But there are far too many cutscenes that drag on for far too long, and the characters, I do not care about them, and I do not understand how to care about them. I have tried. Again, if you listen to the Falcon Show, you will feel my pain here. I'm a story bird, and the
Kingdom
story
Hearts
sucks.
rocks the ship,
And if the
dude.
story doesn't matter, as a lot of people say, why do they spend so much time and effort to fully motion capture even the most random encounters that, ooh, they don't matter? If this was like Baldur's Gate 3, where the characters were memorable, the story made some kind of impression, even though maybe a little messy, at least it had some weight to it, it would matter.
Could argue they simply focused on the gameplay instead of the story parts, if they didn't have such weird control issues. I don't know. Again, it's such a mixed bag to where I just can't recommend it for now. But if they do add co-op, it is truly redeemable in my eyes, because co-op just makes any game better automatically.
But it does not matter. It cannot matter. The bad story just gets in the way of any of the legitimately fun stuff in the game. Crimson Desert would have been better as a pointless exploration game, because the open world is, I mean, just a freaking achievement.
Yeah, no, it's a good sign. It's a really good sign. That is crazy.
This story, I mean, I don't know if I would say it has to get a lot better from where I am for me
Hello,
to even
JJ,
think it's
welcome in.
adequate. And from everything everyone has said, including people who love this game more than anything
On
else,
every
it
setup
doesn't.
without any problems. Yeah,
And
true.
number 6 is the convoluted controls. Another one of those things that's going to hit players pretty immediately. For some reason, the Pearl Abyss guys decided to model their controls after RDR2. It's an all-time great game, obviously, but a very unusual one in terms of control scheme, and this is not a game that is paced like Red Dead 2. You're often fighting like what seems like 50 or 60 guys. At least sometimes. I don't know. There's some pretty big battles here. And you didn't do that in Red Dead 2. As I understand it, there's bigger battles than the ones I've been to thus far. And Crimson Desert has got the same general momentum and slowness of that game. This freaking Dynasty Warrior style combat where you're flying through the air and whipping out magic powers and toasting your enemies. It's an over the top
in 6 months it'll probably be a lot better.
It also wants to be a deeply
Maybe
immersive,
co-op.
large-scale, meditative open world game, I guess, with a ton of abilities you can access at any time. And the contrast between these two styles it's weird. It's kind of a miracle the game is not a total disaster with design principles like these, but the basic nature of the controls contradicts itself regularly. Even with the game getting more responsive post-launch, there's issues all over the place with the controls. Basic functions like double jumping are really awkward and inconsistent. The power move defaults to right bumper and right trigger, which, man, that is a wild choice for a button combo. Your grabby hand is mapped to L3, which leads to some really awkward button combos. If you want to boost in the air and grapple, you need to press R3 3 times, then L3, quickly target where you want to grapple, followed by XX, which is dumb. One of the most frustrating yet common skills is the blinding flash, which is triggered by, follow along with me here, by pressing right bumper and left bumper, then release the left bumper and hold right bumper to aim. If you continue holding right bumper and left bumper, the move will cancel. You'll just have to hold right bumper. Then if you focus the light, you need to keep holding on the right bumper and then hold down the L bumper. It's one of the first things that pops up in tutorials, and I'm still bewildered. There's no good reason why they needed to teach you the power this early either. They could have slowly built up to, well, frankly, one of the most insane control schemes for a single player move I've ever seen in a game. Don't get me wrong, in some twisted way I do kind of like that your abilities are all mapped to face buttons and can be performed in an instant. I kind of appreciate how they tried to avoid the God of War 2018 style special move system that every single action game game has these days. It's a really overused system, but still probably could have brainstormed something a little more intuitive for some of this stuff. It can be adapted to. Insert Always Sunny Frank, he'll adapt. Dennis, he'll adapt to reading clip if you know what's good for you. But the controls are just one of the many strange, interesting, but also kind of frustrating choices they made with Crimson Desert.
You didn't have to do that. I think it's a
And number 5 is the grinding. With so many random,
I really
mostly inconsequential systems fighting for your attention, you'd think certain activities like mining, woodcutting, and hunting, they'd be a little easy to ignore. In Red Dead 2, you don't really have to hunt. I mean, there's quests that kind of force you to hunt, but outside of those, meh. It is not like that in Crimson Desert. You have to grind out resources. You have to upgrade your weapons and your equipment to get past some of the out-of-nowhere difficulty spikes. And the only way to do that is to stop and mine a whole bunch of materials. And it gets pretty freaking tedious very quick.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna definitely wait on this because, like, if I need to grind in a single player game for materials, I don't know. I'd rather just grind levels. It feels more fun to do that than just mining like an MMO.
It's bad enough early on when you're getting 1 or 2 iron ores per deposit. You need like 5 iron and 3 copper to upgrade a single weapon piece. But then you get into high level crafting where you need,
I don't know, the more like I feel like I was just trying to ignore a lot of like Crimson Desert's like negative parts, but it's just I can't really ignore them anymore. So I'm gonna just wait on the game until they add co-op. And welcome in, Wolf. How are you?
4 different materials as well as precious abyss artifact crap simply to upgrade your armor a single time. At least by that point, getting basic crafting materials becomes a little simpler, but you need so much other random stuff that it is super annoying. And upgrading your equipment remains a laborious and
bad. It's very mixed. It's I don't know. It's not your typical like action, not your typical action game. It's not an RPG. It's like an action. What was it? I'm unsure. I'm so tired.
Consuming process for pretty much the whole game. It doesn't help that basically all equipment that hasn't been upgraded might as well be worthless. Almost everything you get starts off weak until you invest resources in it to power up. So if you ever
not like Devil May Cry. It's like more. I can't describe it.
Change up your wardrobe. I hope you set aside a few hours to hoover up all the random ores you'll need to get this thing set up. And I mean, otherwise, you just throw that armor in the garbage because it's not going to be nearly as good as whatever you already have. Everything that involves.
I mean, my problem is that like, I feel like they should have just stuck with the MMO vibe, or the MMO, because like they changed it from an MMO to a single player game. Because their prior game, Black Desert, was an MMO. It's still an MMO for like 10 years now. And it's still going strong. But this game, I don't know. I just feel like they changed it too soon.
Crafting is super annoying too. Like
really? That's crazy, Pi. Holy shit, thank you.
10 pieces of
wow, we're on the front page, chat. Ain't no way. Good shit. So proud.
It's ridiculous, the sort of crafting requirements any random food item takes, and you have to be collecting a ton of food
I feel like that deserves a fucking or.
Because you will hit points where enemies start doing overwhelming levels of damage that you'll have to heal constantly.
Yeah, with you guys.
Do not get me started on crafting dyes, which
also if future reference
and multiple random bugs.
If anyone sends me like what is it called, like kicks or whatever, if anyone sends me those, please let me know, because I do not get a notification for those, so I can't see if you guys send me those at all. So fuck.
And number 4, Bandits.
Black Desert didn't like it.
For a game that's clearly taking inspiration from Dragon's Dogma.
But what about exactly is it that bugs you? What bugs me about it is that it's just too MMO. I played so much Black Desert. It's just exactly like Black Desert, but single player. and kind of slower. But yeah.
Few more creatures here and there. It's a high fantasy game from the looks, but outside of some noteworthy boss fights, the vast majority that you fight are bandits. Red bandits, green bandits, yellow bandits, lots of shield wielding bandits, white bandits that wear a mask, feathered bandits, pointy hat bandits, bandits all the way down. Each group has a unique enemy type of some kind, and different groups at least try to have different specialties when you boil
Also,
them down.
hello,
But
Len.
it's
Welcome
just
in.
a bunch
Sorry,
of
missed that.
humanoid enemies. They're
Welcome
mostly
to the
the
cult.
same. Take the
How are you?
often interchangeable enemy groups and combine them with bases that, they can take a long time to clear out, and you will get burned out on fighting these same generic enemies. It is absurd how tanky some of these bases are. They require you kill guys until they're cleared out, starting at 100% ownership.
Dude, I miss
And you kill.
I should play
enemies, and that number decreases. That's how it
Shadow
works.
of War.
Certain bases make you kill multiple
That game I
enemies
need to go
before
back
that
to.
100% counter.
That game was
It's a slog,
fun.
and
Oh
I
my
guess
God.
It's meant to encourage you to send your gray mains to assist in the fight, but even that assistance doesn't. I mean, it goes on and on anyways. I've encountered situations where I've completely cleared out a camp and it doesn't count as cleared, so I have to wait around for enemies to respawn outside the base to kill enough enemies for it to count. It's a silly system, and it makes the enemies feel like generic numbers that you just need to clear out. It does not help that most of your enemies are single target only, either in this game about killing hundreds of enemies in large scale battles. If each one of the guys were dynasty warriors like cannon fodder, that'd be one thing, but they're not always. Sometimes they can take a ton of damage, making an individual enemy feel like chopping down a tree. If we got anything to mix up these things, the endless base combat would be tolerable, but it's almost all just generic humans. The rare times you actually fight something different is very refreshing, and I wish there was more of it. And number 3, missing major progression abilities. It's more of a niche concern that not every player is going to have to deal with, but it is wild to me that certain essential skills can just be missed. There's a few instances of this sort of thing happening in the game, but the most ridiculous is in Chapter 4 when you're supposed to go to Scholar Stone. If you follow the intended path, you'll run into the normally unbreakable stone wall that requires the Focus Force Palm ability, and that can be learned from a nearby vision. That's fine. It's how they've introduced other abilities before. The problem here is that this is all set in the open world, so you can easily just not go this direction and instead enter Scholar Stone a different way entirely. And if you do, you completely miss the essential power for doing this. It's utterly necessary that you have this ability, and if you enter Scholar Stone in any way other than the way where that vision is on the way, and a lot of players are going to do because the intended route isn't exactly obvious, but you're SOL at this point. Sorry pal, no power for you. If you try to come back to the same spot, the memory's just gone, and unlike most of the other memories in the game that unlock powers, it can't be unlocked at all unless you view the memory. There's no other way to get it. It
That's
is an
kinda
extremely
fucked up.
bad oversight that should not be in the final game. They should have forced you to take the standard route by,
What?
I do not know, making it so Scholar Stone had a force field around it initially or something. This was the only way in. It's just anything they could have done. It doesn't even matter. You cannot skip this power. And it's not the only place you can learn the power, so it's not a total soft lock. You do get the opportunity to learn it again in Chapter 9, but still, that's so much further down the road that you just can't use a necessary ability. Like, a ton of the open world is blocked because of this.
Yeah,
It is
like
mean,
I just feel like the world's too big. I need co-op, definitely.
to say the least,
That would make
unusual
it so
choice,
much
but
easier
also
to
a very
do.
Crimson Desert choice. Let's be serious. The game lets you do what you want, even if it means temporarily screwing yourself for a huge chunk of the playtime. And moving on to number 2, the obnoxious boss fights. As a boss fight enjoyer, it pains me to say that a lot of the boss fights in this game are not that good. They tend to swing wildly between being way too easy or being way
Missing
too hard
something?
out of
Oh,
nowhere.
no
and the way your
idea.
character just moves.
I don't
just
know. There's so many complaints, but so many issues that people are having that are like totally separate from other people. It's like it's really hard.
doesn't fit with how you're expected to fight. Cliff
Or-
is a slow, lumbering bruiser forced to fight a lot of lightning quick enemies that are difficult to avoid with your slow as molasses dodge speed, while they're attacking you constantly and there's no way to interrupt them. Like, the bosses just really don't feel like a natural extension of how you're supposed to be engaging in combat. Most of your abilities just become useless when you're fighting a boss, and you're forced to rely on Dark Souls tactics to stay alive, when you're not completely ignoring the mechanics entirely, by the way. How difficult a boss fight in Crimson Desert is less based on skill and more how much you've upgraded your equipment. Is your stuff upgraded enough, then the boss will be easy. If it's not, you'll be spamming healing items and hoping that when you use a revive item, you don't immediately get killed the second you wake up. I will say the bosses are more fun when they're easy. When they're really hard, it exposes the weaknesses of the game's combat system. It was just not built for enemies that are this fast. Sometimes Crimson Desert feels like you're being asked to do Doom Eternal, but as Arthur Morgan, and I refuse to explain further than that. And finally, at number 1, why the hell is there no character creation in this game? Why are we stuck with Cliff? If there's one thing that, I mean, even the person who likes this game a ton has to admit, Cliff is a dull protagonist. His dialogue is stock and generic.
His hair, whack. His gear, whack. His jewelry, whack. His footsteps, whack. The way that he talks, whack. The way that he doesn't even like to smile, whack. Me, I'm tight as fuck.
He's just the main
I mean,
guy,
X,
and
just play the MMO, dude. You can character create all you want. I don't get... I don't know. I mean, is he generic? Yeah. But, like... I don't know, man. I don't really mind.
that's nothing. He is not Geralt of Rivia. He doesn't have interesting things to say. Like, other games have managed to make a set protagonist make sense, but in this game, it feels like you're stuck playing the default from a character creator, but the character creator doesn't exist. It's strange because Pearl Abyss made Black Desert Online, which is a game that has a pretty stellar character creation system. But for this game, which is supposed to be connected to that game in some way, I don't know, removed one of its most defining features. Sure, the game lets you play as two other characters, but one of them bizarrely remains unplayable for a very large chunk of the game. Apparently they're off doing their own mission. And either way, both characters are extremely limited. They can't be used during the main quest. You have to level them all up individually, which means you have to intentionally forego upgrading Cliff, the guy you're forced to play as the most time in the game, and instead you invest these precious Abyss artifacts on characters that you mostly can't use. You also have to upgrade their weapons and armor because that'll be underpowered if you don't. That's another few hours wasted to just not play as Cliff, which might sound as a fair trade-off at first, but it's really just not worth the effort. It's cool, each character has their own individual movesets, abilities, weapons, and armor, and they play differently from one another. Yes, cool, great, but their implementation is just so undercut.
Yeah.
The new characters feel like a last-minute addition made in response of like everybody making fun of Cliff. It's such an underbaked feature, and it needs to be better integrated in the rest of the game, because as it is now, it just doesn't make sense. For most players, or at least ones who don't want to spend dozens of additional hours playing the game just to upgrade these two characters, it's better to just stick with Cliff, which you don't want to do because he's boring, but I mean, it's boring the other way too. At least if there was a character creator, you'd be able to make him into a hideous freak of nature. That would at least be funny. But as it is, the guy that's supposed to be the center of Crimson Desert feels like a creative character in a game that...
I mean, just put a helmet on him. That I don't get why people complain about him when like just put a helmet on him, and that's it. You don't need to even worry about it anymore. I mean, is he in cutscenes still? Yes, but like that's like 20% of the game. So like you're not even gonna worry about him. But yeah, okay, guys. Here, let me go finish the download. Real